Hello, here's a spell, and today we are returning to the series I probably should have returned to last week. What if Midoriya's parents were villains? Now, if you didn't see the previous video, I'm going to be doing more text-to-speech what ifs, and I hope to get that up and running by next week. Now, if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe, because all those do help the channel. And without further ado, let's begin. We flash to the day of the entrance exam. Midoriya had decided to attend. After all, it was always his dream to become a hero. Though things had gotten more complicated in his life. He left Eri with Aunt Mitsuki. She wasn't blood related, but she felt like an aunt. After all, she was the one who had helped him in the days after the second quirk awakening. As he walked in, he saw someone trip as he rushed over and grabbed the back of her shirt to help her up. It was a brown-haired girl. With a round face. As she said, "Thank you," Midoriya would scratch the back of his head and say, "No problem. I think all of us get a little clumsy when we're nervous." As they walked inside, President Mike would give his speech. Midoriya was focused. And despite one boy who had interrupted the entire thing, everything had gone pretty well. As they made their way to the training ground, Midoriya was tapping his foot, nervous. After all, what if he couldn't make it? As he quickly pushed those down. He had survived in the exclusion zone, a zone full of creatures with quirks, monstrosities by many names. He would get through. As he was preparing, he saw the same nervous girl. As he started making his way towards her, a boy would put his hand on his shoulder. As he turned around and saw it was the same boy as at the entrance exam. As the boy said, "Were you going to try to distract her?" As Midoriya's eyes flicked with rage for a moment. That this boy would just accuse him of that. But before that could go any further, President Mike would come on over the speakers. As he would just say, "Are you ready?" As the gate opened, as Midoriya took a second and realized what this was, as he shot forward. As everyone else was confused, as President Mike would say, "What are you waiting for? There's no start in a real life. Go, go, go!" As the free-for-all commenced, as dozens of quirks started going off, destroying robots, as Midoriya decided to skip on his sword, as he just channeled his flames through his arms. The black inferno engulfed them as he rushed towards the robot, pretty effortlessly destroying it, having it being devoured by black flames. Midoriya would start destroying it heavily. As in Teacher's Observatory, they would be flipping through the different combatants. Teachers looking at applicants they were interested in. As Nezu looked at Midoriya. He had been tearing through robots with claws and flames made out of fire. As the robot had launched multiple rubber rockets. As Midoriya pushed out flame and formed a shield. As the shield was managed to absorb and destroy most of the fake rockets. As he destroyed the robot and sent them out. As Nezu smiled and said, "It looks like patient zero." As the little rat had a smile. Those who noticed were a little concerned. After all, Nezu wasn't exactly known as being the most stable individual when he got excited. As flame-coated arms destroyed more robots, Midoriya would see the brown-haired girl as he would hear a large rumbling as the zero pointer would make its appearance. Larger than most of the buildings around them. He had heard multiple screams of fear. As Midoriya gulped, as those screams reminded him of a few days he'd rather not remember. As he turned to try to avoid the zero pointer and get some more points, he heard someone yell out. As he looked over, he saw a boy with purple hair. He had been trapped under some rubble. As he rushed forward to try to pull it off, he had realized they were fairly heavy, and the zero pointer was almost on them. As he tried pulling him off, he saw the brown-haired girl running back at them. As she began touching the rubble, seemingly negating the weight and helping to force them off, the zero pointer seemingly didn't care that they were there. Midoriya was starting to think that it was really irresponsible to have this thing here, as it continued rolling at them. As he told the girl, "Get him out. I'll cover you." As he rushed forward, as his horns on his head grew, and black fire engulfed him. As he jumped up, everyone in the room was surprised that Midoriya had managed to jump up and run up the arms of the zero pointers and attack its eyes. As the last of the rubble got lifted off of the purple-haired boy, Midoriya would see that and cease his assault. His quirk hadn't been strong enough to just destroy the zero pointer outright, or at least not without risking a lot of things around him. As he saw the girl help the boy away, he leaped off and hopped on some more buildings before making his escape. He had smiled. He had actually helped someone. As a couple minutes later, the test would end, and Midoriya would start to head home and pick up his stuff that they allowed you to put in a locker. As he saw the brunette-haired girl walk up to him and say, "Hey, thanks for the help earlier, and I just want to see if you're okay after attacking that zero pointer." Midoriya would put on a grin and say, "No problem," as she had also pulled that purple-haired boy back towards him. As she says, "I'm Ochako Araka. And this is..." As the boy just waved and said, "My name's Shinso." As he put out his hand to shake, Midoriya would also put his hand out to shake, as Shinso said, "Thanks for helping." As Midoriya could tell that he was probably antisocial, while Ochako was, well, definitely extrovert. Definitely. As she said, "You want to say thanks after you helped him." As she says, "Hope to see both of you in UA." As they would part ways and head off. About a week later, Midoriya would get his acceptance letter to UA. And that's where I think we're going to leave it. And if you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. And this will be Spellry, sign off. Hope to see you around the channel.